So today, normally in the Centers for Spiritual Living, we talk about the first 2 chapters or first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind, and we do that once each week. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to build the premise, but I'm going to build it with different wording in that. Wording that really resonated with me as I considered how I would talk to you. So today's talk is called The Road to Freedom. And you say, why would you choose that, Lee? And I said, because for me, freedom is the only divine plan. This God idea, this being that's outside of you, that it has a plan for you, that there is this plan in your life? No, it isn't that. I've really come to understand that the plan is freedom, that you, as an individualization of the infinite, have been given the ability to choose. And you can choose whatever you want. This last week, my wife and I, we watched the new movie out there, Soul, on Disney. And what a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you really ought to take the time to watch it. And the key about this is that this pianist was always thinking that playing music, playing jazz was his life purpose. And as the movie evolved, he found out that that wasn't his purpose. It's something he did. His purpose was simply this: to fully experience every moment of life. And here's the key: we're free to choose whatever we desire. We want to be, to have, to do, to share. We're free. You see, we experience freedom when we're consciously using the forces and the laws of nature. You notice I didn't say God's law? It's a natural law. It's a natural force. What I've come to understand is I don't know just about anything. When you start evaluating your life and you start looking and you start saying, well, I know this. Well, do you really know it, or is it a perception? What do you know is true? Do you know that there's a God, or do you perceive there's a God? Do you perceive there's an infinite intelligence, or do you know there's an infinite intelligence? You can do this on everything. And then after you do that, you ask the question, what's my proof? So if someone's coming to me and says, I know this to be true, I would ask the simple question, what's the proof? And if they're giving me opinions, that's not truth. That's justification. And justification and truth are very different things. And what's happening today in our societies, if you look at what's going on, we're saying things are true. They're not true. They're all opinions. The Democrats have opinions. The Republicans have opinions. The Catholics have opinions. The Jewish people have opinions. The Islamic religion has opinions. The Hindus have opinions. That's all they are, is opinions. But yet we get caught up in that and we embrace them. Here's the key thing. Do you understand that there are natural laws that you can use in the creation of your life experience? Nature, or that power that creates, is the only source from which all things come. Do you see? There's only one power, and we're using that power. We're using that power 24/7, 365, whether we're aware of it or not. And that power is responding to the nature of our thoughts. And here's the key thing. That power has no favorites. It responds equally to everyone, according to its laws and only its laws. And that's real important to understand. You see, it doesn't respond differently to others. It responds only to the natural laws. And what it's basically saying is, what you put out comes back to you, thought. You see, all thought is creative based on the level of belief behind the thought. Did you get that? All thought is created based on the level of belief that is behind the thought. It doesn't matter whether the belief is correct or not. Beliefs are not truth. Beliefs are things we've just blindly accepted. Not blindly accepted, we have conditioned ourselves to believe. We've conditioned ourselves to believe that a certain body type is more attractive than another body type. But yet, if you go back throughout history, there was a time when this body type was considered to be the ultimate, and then this body type, and now this body type. It's always been different. It's always a belief. And so a belief is simply our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings aligned toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently, either consciously or unconsciously. That's taken me years and years and years of study to get those words in place so I truly understand what are my beliefs. And the key thing I want to say to you is I gave you that idea of what a belief is. At the very end, I said consciously or unconsciously. You see, the law doesn't care whether it's a conscious belief or an unconscious belief. It gives you who you are. So when we come into the spiritual realm, we talk about the idea of prayer. And so I just thought I'd say this. A prayer is simply a movement in consciousness for a specific purpose. It is a movement in consciousness toward a specific purpose. In other words, it is the development of a new belief. And a new belief are thoughts, words, actions, and feeling aligned toward a specific purpose, held persistently and consistently, consciously or unconsciously. And what we're trying to do, in most cases, we're trying to build new belief habits. Habits that are functioning within our mind, in our subconscious. Because if it's happening in the subconscious, where most things are happening, we're not aware that it's going on, we're still the masters of our life. Because we consciously created that habit. You see, I love the idea that we're the masters of our mind. I love that idea. But we have to realize that we're only consciously thinking, 2, 3, 4% of our day? The rest of it are unconscious habits of thought that are going on. So if that's the case, and 96, 97, 98% of what we're thinking is unconscious and it's habits, well, why not get our power back and create habits that serve what we want? You see, at our core, we are all one in consciousness. But how we use the laws of nature gives us our personal and our unique identity. It's that simple. We're at the core, we're all one. It's like we're all waves within the ocean. We're all a part of the ocean. But the amount of force we put in our wave determines whether we're a little wave, a medium wave, a tsunami wave. And that gives us our uniqueness. That's our identity. That's our persona that we're putting out there. So what you're seeing is I'm one with you in one consciousness. However, how I'm using the natural laws gives me this unique identity that is Lee Wolak. You see, we are only individual at the moment, at a particular moment, based on how we perceive life. That is the key. How we perceive life makes us an individual. How we perceive life gives us our unique identity, and no two people have the same identity. 7.5+ billion people and not two are having the same experience, even if they're watching the same event at any time. And so when we bring that into love, we understand that we accept ourselves where we are as we look at that event, and we accept others where they are as they look at that event. You see, in order to love means to accept. It means not to judge. And we first start with loving ourselves because that's the only place that we can start. Once we can love and accept ourselves, we're now able to love and accept others. You see, our freedom lies in our ability to choose. And we can choose in each and every moment with no limitations whatsoever, knowing that the laws of nature are always responding to us. No matter what your situation, whether it be with health, wealth, job, whether it's with spirituality, whether it's finding a new automobile. You are free to choose. In any moment, regardless of what happened before, you can choose anew. And when you build enough power behind that choice, by building a belief that's powered by emotions, the laws of nature respond to you. So I'm not trying to teach you something philosophical. I'm not trying to teach you something esoteric. I'm trying to teach you a practical way of living. And the only way that you will ever believe that what I'm saying is practical is if you prove it to yourself. And the way to do that is to find an area of your life that you would like to see working differently and build a belief that is supportive of what you desire to experience, and keep building that belief, keep focusing on that belief, and keep saying that belief, whether it's through affirmations, whether it's through taking it into meditation, whether it's through visualizing about it, until it becomes a natural way of thinking. And then, when you see the demonstration of it in your life, you will own it, because you've proven it for yourself. And that's what I've come to understand, is that you will only learn what you've experienced. You will not learn what you study. You will not learn what someone tells you, like myself telling you things. You won't learn that. You won't know that. You have to prove it for yourself. And remember, not only do you have to prove it for yourself, but you've got to give everyone else the ability to prove it for themselves. So just because you know it doesn't mean someone else is going to know it and rely on what you know. I've learned that so many ways. The hard way I've learned that. I can't demonstrate for you. Only you can. But here's what I do know. I can demonstrate for me. And if I can be an example to you, maybe that will inspire you to be the greater you by claiming the natural power that exists within you. And then you, my friends, are living on the road to freedom.